So when you are modeling energy storage projects, there may be revenues that you might receive due to market interactions. Now, the modeling of those market interactions can be incredibly complicated, and we're trying to make it sort of fairly simple. So in GridMAP, what you're able to do is sort of put a chunk of money per kilowatt or kilowatt hour that of capacity that you can apply to a final annual revenue from, say, market interaction. So what this means is that in this flexibility revenue assumptions area, it says, will the storage in the project receive flexibility revenue? So flexibility can be any kind of interaction with the market. So aggregation, it could be balancing services, etc. The simplest answer is no, so you're going to receive no money from that, and we can just click no and you'll see the save and continue and move on. However, if you choose yes, you will see the following. So first of all, we need to know the energy storage unit that flexibility payments will be made against. So typically, you will get paid an amount of money per year per kilowatt of storage. That seems to be the case at the moment. It may change, but if you want to use kilowatt hours, you can use kilowatt hours. But generally, the default is kilowatts. So in the UK, let's say the kind of maybe a value that you'd normally see is sort of £50 per kilowatt per year. So once we know that it's kilowatts, we then need to know, okay, what percentage of the battery's kilowatt are we actually going to base the payment on? So a lot of the time this will be 100% of the battery value, but it may be that it's a smaller value, so it's based on half of the battery size. So in that sense, we put 50 for half, but the default of 100 is typical, but it's the percentage of the kilowatt rating of the battery. Remember, we're doing different permutations, different sizes of batteries. So for each one, we need to kind of know what percentage of that battery size do we apply to that unit. We then have the actual values. So at the moment, because this is not necessarily based on an inflation rate, a lot of the time people will sort of say, well, you're going to get this amount in year one and this much in year two, etc., etc. So effectively, what you need to do is you need to then put the values per year into here. So, you know, I took an example there of 50, and next year it might be 55, and then we actually think that actually after that it's going to go down to 35 and 30 as more participants come into the market, and then you can just put those values in there, and then maybe it goes to zero. But whatever you think you're going to receive over the project lifetime, my project life is 15 years, you put those in, click save and continue, and then what will happen is each year we will take a separate part of the cash flow analysis, which will say, right, you've got X number of kilowatts in this case of energy storage. We're using 100% of that kilowatt value. And in year one, we're going to multiply it by £50 to give a revenue projection. In year two, 55. In year three, 35, etc., etc. And with that, we'll then get the cash flows for your project over time, and then we can calculate your internal rates of return with all of the other cash flows that happen, and net present values and all of the other financial indicators. If you've got any questions about this, please let us know. There are other ways of, so we can look at wholesale pricing and wholesale arbitrage if you're kind of in front of the meter, and that'll be in another video. But look forward to speaking to you about this, and hopefully that makes sense. Thanks for listening. Bye.